Evening, folks. We nearly didn't get there because of a huge thing that I did wrong. There you go. But we're here. We're here. Hello. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. It's Mag here, also known as Middle-Aged Gamer Guy. Welcome to Tuesday Night Gaming Chat, where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. How are you? We are broadcasting on Twitch and YouTube. Kindred was the first one here. Good evening, Kindred. Gozzo, good evening. Big Jesse, welcome on in. Rockmuse, welcome on in. Chloe, welcome on in. Hannah, everyone's saying hello. Brian, good evening. Ben, how you doing? I'm on a 67 streak. I even hate myself for saying 67. So you should. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but hi. There you go on YouTube. Great to see you all. Legend says, blimey, I'm early. And we're late, but there you go. My phone just made me have to sign in again. How strange. That's weird. I don't know why it did that there. Oh dear, what did you do? Completely forgot to add the chart details and the banner details for the show. Completely forgot. So literally just done it before we went live. So there you go. I had to quickly type that all in. I've just remembered to complete the form of the community meetup. Amazing. Thank you for doing that. I will chase people up about that tomorrow. I feel like every time my computer boots up, it also goes to the stream. So it should. Good computer. What games even came out this week, apart from Toxic Commando and Timberborn, obviously? Well, there's a lot. It's a big week, actually. It's a bigger week than you would think. Daniel's Chad, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. Good evening. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome on in, everyone. Got a jam-packed show, and as we started late, I am not going to take up any more time. I'm going to invite my co-host, who knows the most, is the one, the only Mr. David Jones.
Good evening. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Hope everyone in chat's doing well.
Yep. I think everyone's there. Exclamation Dave in chat straight away. Deborah, hello. Hi. How you doing? Welcome on in. Danny says, I'm very good. Big Chesney says, Mag is a core feature of Windows 11. Yes, like that time they put that U2 album on people's iPhones and they didn't fucking want it. You're stuck with me if you've got Windows 11.
Move to Linux.
Yeah, move. Get a MacBook instead. How are you? What have you been up to? I think I know what you're going to say you're going to be playing and finished because we both finished the same game. But go for it.
Yeah, well, I'm all good, thanks. Before I get to that game, I was mentioning a couple of other things I've been playing. So a bit more Baldur's Gate 3, a bit more Planet Lana 2. Enjoying the sort of puzzles and stuff in that. It's cool. A bit more Battlefield 6 since I finished a particular game. That's good going back to that because I haven't played that for a couple of weeks. New map came out today, so a couple of quick goes at that one. Yeah. And that seems all right. It seems like it's just going to be an infantry heavy meat grinder, a bit like the Operation Metro map from back in Battlefield 3, for anyone who remembers that one. It is just, you round a corner and you get absolutely ripped to pieces by the bullets from the other team. Seems good fun though, so I'm going to get a few more rounds in on that. But the main thing I played last week, which as you mentioned you finished as well, was Resident Evil Requiem. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will agree that the first half of the game you mostly played as Grace is the strongest part of it. But I enjoyed the rest of it, playing as like Leon later on. And good game. I
think it's quite evenly balanced in a way. But it is the fact that it's first half horror, second half balls to the wall action. Mm-hmm. Maybe if they had split it up and it was like back and forth, like it first starts out, maybe that wouldn't have worked. But I think it's the right balance, I'll be honest. So I quite like it.
Yeah, I think most Resident Evil games always kind of go that way, don't they? They sort of start off more horror, then it's as you get more powerful, it does always seem to peak to the action. Yeah. And you've got sort of similar type of locations you end up going to as well in a lot of them. So yeah, it kind of follows the usual path. But I enjoyed it. It was a good game. As you say, good action when you're playing as Leon. Yeah, I quite enjoy some of the characters, and there's some really good callbacks to the earlier games as well. So cracking bit of fan service in there.
Yeah,
good. And so considering I wasn't bothered about like the previous games in the series, this one's definitely brought me back into it. So looking forward to what they're doing next.
Yeah, I'm the opposite to you because I really like the last two.
Mm-hmm.
I felt this fitted in really nicely, and it felt almost like it bridged the gap between those and then the recent remakes of 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, definitely did.
I just think it just did everything very well. Is it my favorite Resident Evil game of all time? Probably not. Is it a very good Resident Evil game? It certainly is.
Definitely is.
It certainly is. And I even managed to get through the bit with the spiders, which made me sweat a bit. And there was one bit that really did make me jump when it happens, and I'm not going to spoil it. But once that bit was over, I breathed a sigh of relief because I knew that there were more spiders in the game. So yeah, but that bit got me. I knew what I was walking into. I actually had to stop because I saw a video saying if you go through this door, this is where this bit's going to start. I saved my game and went, I'll come back to it in an hour when I'm ready for it. There you go. There you go. Brian, I'd just be interested. What did you give Planet of Lana 2? Because you said posted my Planet of Lana 2 review yesterday. Let me know what you gave it. I did on multiple times, and it shows it's a good game. At least after playing Toxic Commando with Mags, I now know why people don't like him driving. Yes, I got the van stuck in the mud. 7 out of 10. Interesting. I don't know if you were here last week when we did the show because it got an 8.5 on the show. I've not finished the game. Dave, you've not quite finished it yet, have you? So
no, I'm only on chapter 3.
Okay.
Most of my time's been on Resident Evil, so I haven't spent that much time with Lana yet.
It's the next. In fact, I started playing it again this evening before the show, so I'll probably get through that, and then I'll let people know what my score is. So it's interesting. I'd be interesting to know why you gave it a 7. So we'll see. Let us know your thoughts. We will swiftly move on again. So we are bringing back a guest for a third time. 2 years ago, he was on the show because there was a wonderful game that came out in 2024, which featured, I think it was Dave's number 2 game in our top 15 games of the year, which was Pacific Drive. Last year, he was on the show.
That number 1.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Maybe you did put that number 1.
Yeah, I really liked it.
It was his number 1 game. Sorry, my apologies. Number 1 game of 2024. And I think our number 2 game overall, I think, for last year was another game that he was here on the show for promoting, which obviously has gone on to win tons of awards, which was Expedition 33, Claire Obscura. So we are bringing this person back because he has 2 new games to talk about. One which will be coming out very soon, and one which has just launched in early access. Please give it up, the marketing manager from Kepler Interactive. It's the one and only Danzig. Good evening.
Hey,
how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. As we were saying just before the call, it must just be the lighting that's making my hair look grayer than last time I was on. It's something weird with the lighting, I think.
It's nothing to do with the stress of getting games released.
Nothing at all. It's all good fun. How are you guys?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, hanging in there.
There you go. You're getting lots of whoops from the video audience. Blonde is a curse. There you go. So it's not grey. You're blonde.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be telling everyone. Definitely. Yeah, a little bit of blonde coming through.
So you had a bloody good 2024, didn't you? With Samfall and yourselves with Expedition 33, a game that was hotly tipped, but I don't think anyone realised it was going to be as big a success as it was.
Yeah. I mean, even internally, we've been gushing over it for years. Like, it's right. Like, someone that's like born and raised on the Final Fantasies and stuff. That's like my blood, right? So as soon as you sort of saw like the first like pitch of this game, we were like, oh yeah, yeah. And then to see it sort of come out and just sort of like when those final bits of it came together, when you finally felt it with like all the music being part of it, and then all the sort of voice acting coming in, and it all sort of piecing together, like it was as exciting for us. I'd actually say it was more exciting for us because like everyone externally just got it all in one big like poof, there you go. Yeah. But I actually really enjoyed the journey of seeing it go from almost the kind of like the grey box environment that we kind of saw right at the very beginning to seeing like the art come in, then the music come in, and the voice, and it was a journey. And yeah, like the poor team over there are running out, like say they're very, very French, if no one had gauged that. So having to write all these very heartfelt English acceptance speeches at the minute, it's a weird thing to feel bad for them about. It's a good problem to have, but I know that they're sort of struggling a little bit with it at the minute. And then BAFTAs and things still to come as well. So great year for those guys. And again, like as much as everyone talks about, what is indie and the size of the teams and stuff like that, the actual sort of core team are tiny, and it's so nice seeing them.
I think
really.
Well, no, it's true. I know some people said, "Oh, it's not really an indie game," but I think even seeing kind of back in February last year when Xbox picked it for their where they basically showcased 3 or 4 games of the year, you could tell it was a small company that were working on it when they did that showcase, and it was like, well, this looks really cool.
They really are tiny, and then like say, not blowing our own trumpet, but Kepler even is a very small publisher. We're a tiny team compared to some. So even when they're sort of saying like, oh, but they've got a publisher now and things, it's like, me and a couple of my mates trying to make some marketing stuff for them. It's a very small team. And then I'm like an absolute massive. I've bought everything, so this is all like nothing I've got free. I'm like buying every bit of Expedition 33 stuff I can get my hands on and stuff. So
nice.
I think the vinyls and stuff just came down the other day as well. But I don't even have a record player. I just felt like I had to own it. I was like, yeah,
people do that. I mean, Rock Music just said she's bought the soundtracks for Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth and Expedition 33. Mm-hmm. Good evening, Flame. How are you? Good to see you. But I was actually quite chuffed because we co-broadcasted the Golden Joystick Awards, which was like one of the first ones that Expedition 33 won the awards for. And you were there, and I was saying, like, "There's Dan on the screen," and you were like on the stage,
and that was a surprise as well. Like, honestly, it was like it's about we were very much like we're just going to be behind the scenes. We're just here if you need us. And the devs literally as they were walking up were like, "Come on!" I was like, "I'm not going to say no to Gap." I love that stuff. So straight up. And we had I'd had it broadcast to the kids here at home as well, so they were like watching it on the telly and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, keep an eye out. You never know."
We were cheering away for you and all the team when you appeared on that. We were over the moon, mate. Over the moon. So there you go. My most listened music has been artists on soundtracks. There you go. Retro Shazar, good evening. How are you? Rock Music said you must be so proud. I think probably everyone is because it's just phenomenal, and more awards to come, hopefully.
Yeah, so I appreciate it's like if I was on the other side of the fence, I'd be like, oh, give someone else a chance. You know what I mean? But that it's the way that the awards work, isn't it? It's they're always basing it on that year. And that's what's come out. So it's a fun one.
No, there you go. No, it was well earned. If they get more awards, I think it's definitely well earned. And JL said in the chat earlier that someone who's not into RPGs absolutely loves that game, and I was exactly the same because I'm not an RPG fan whatsoever, and I played the shit out of that game. It was fantastic.
But I think the thing that's mad is what a year it was for games anyway. Like
it was
personally for me, like having titles like Blueprints and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and things like that all coming out in that year. It mad. I think when we were on the call, I think I'd been talking to you about how worried I was that we had the Oblivion remastered coming out on the same day. And we're like, no one's going to hear about our game. No one's going to talk about it. And it's
and it's funny because we were saying this on the show last week that we had Ashens on, and he was saying, got the Oblivion remaster, haven't played it, and he said it come out, people talked about it and then forgot about it, whereas you had the reverse effect.
Exact opposite,
which is great. There you go. Blueprints is an awesome game. I'm glad that did get some awards. I do feel bad for the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 lads because they're not really won much.
I think for the Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's more an overarching issue with some of the categories that some of these award shows pick. Because I think it could have like smashed through a couple of like different, if it just been like phrased differently and things like that. But it's a cracking game. I love it.
Yeah, it is. I think both of them deserve a lot of love. Now, obviously, looking to the future, you've got a couple of games coming out this year, and the first one we're going to talk about. And don't start putting scores in. We're not scoring yet. All right, and I know someone's going to put a score in because there's always that one person. But we're going to play the trailer for a game that literally came out in early access at the back end of last week, and then we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to run some competitions, which we don't normally do on the show. I think it's only the second time we've ever run a competition, but we're going to play the trailer of Solasta 2, which is now in early access. So let's have a look at this, and we'll get Dan to talk about it a bit more, and then one lucky person might win a copy, or a few other people might win some copies throughout the night. We'll let you know how that works. You have to stay tuned. But here is the trailer for the game.
We can still bring her back.
No! She told me not to. She deserves the peace of death. Holy Mother.
Oh, where are we?
Neokos. Who are you then, strangers?
We are Cold Walls too.
We shall honor the Covenant.
Welcome to my emporium of everything, travelers.
Whenever you're ready, let's hit the road.
Well met, newcomers. Harold Strongarm at your service. Can we take 5? Let's see what we have here.
Don't fool yourselves. You cannot stop me. We finally meet.
So there you go. That is the trailer for Solasta 2, which is now in early access. We're going to be giving away some copies of this for you in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or on Twitch. We'll tell you about that in a minute. But Dan, tell us a little bit more about this game and things that we're allowed to talk about so far.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think the main thing that I always have to remind myself is it's an early access release, but it's like the old school early access. I think a lot of people have kind of used early access for like the wrong reasons recently. But this is a game that they, as they did with the first Solasta, they really want to build a lot of these sort of like concepts and things with the community. They've got some really like, they're massively leaning on the latest rule sets and everything from the sort of D&D rules. And as with, sometimes those are fun and sometimes they're not as fun as you might think they are once you start playing with them and things like that.
Yeah.
So they're very much launching, sort of testing out a lot of the stuff with sort of like almost like a single player mode for now. But as you saw on that sort of like last bit of the trailer, the first big update sort of around Q3 this year is going to be bringing in multiplayer as well, which for me, and like I've got a lot of, so I'm originally from the little island in Jersey. I think I've talked about that before.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of geeky friends back there that, we've always looked for ways of almost playing the kind of like D&D experience, but virtually. And we've done that before with Solasta 1, and I'm very much looking forward to do that with Solasta 2 as well. It's very much it's obviously got other titles in the market it will be heavily compared to. I'd very much sort of some that Dave is still playing to this day. But there are massive sort of differences with this and a sort of a Baldur's Gate 3, like not least of all is the sort of size of the team working on a title like this. They're very much going much more for that kind of India spirit, but then I'd say from like a technical and side of things, they're very much more focused on how do they make this feel more like a tabletop game but a video game.
Yeah.
Rather than sort of like skipping over things to make it more video game, if that makes sense.
And it's got quite a big voice cast in this one as well, hasn't it? There's some quite
some really big, like, you know, not to say that we've got a type at Kepler, but there was a few people we worked on with Expedition that have made an appearance here, and weirdly it's the brother and sister from Expedition, making it so Ben Starr and Deborah Wild, Devra Wild, I was saying her name wrong. So they're sort of playing two of the main characters. Then we've also got Amelia Tyler, Ellen Thomas as well. So like the cutscenes and things, compared to if anyone has played the first Solasta, it was very indie. It almost felt like you know, you were literally sat around a table with someone that had never been a dungeon master before, making stupid voices and things like that. It was quite sort of janky with a lot of the cutscenes. You couldn't do much in ways of like customization and things like that. So basically all of that feedback from the first Solasta, which had quite a lot of, you know, DLCs and things like that, they've collected all this data on. They've gone, what were the things that we couldn't do in the first one? We couldn't just add it as like a piece of DLC. And I think starting, especially the fact that they've moved to Unreal and things like that, they've just, you know, been able to open up and do a lot more things that they'd never thought they'd be able to do when they were on Unity as well.
Okay. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we are going to give a copy. We've got 3 copies of the game, courtesy of Dan and Kepler Interactive. So if you are interested in the game, hello to Big Fuzzy Yak, hello to MC Gamer, hello to DJ Baroque, who've all joined in as we've been chatting. If you would like to win a copy for PC early access, which means once the final game comes out, you will get the final game. All I want you to do is type in the YouTube chat or on the Twitch chat, type the word win, and I'm going to add your name to a wheel, and I'm just going to show you just to prove that I'm not skanking anyone on this. Look at this, as if prepared, a Kepler wheel.
Look at that.
So I'm going to put DJ, and we're going to put Kindred, and I'm going to put Danka, and we've got Big Fuzzy Yak, we got Gozzo, I know, we got JL, we got UKGN, we got Brian there, we got Chloe, we got Flame. Any more for any more? We're going to do, this is what's going to happen. We're going to do one now. We're going to do one at the halfway point of the show, and we're going to do one at the end. But you have to be here to win it. So if we spin your name and you're not here, good evening, Big Fuzzy Panda. How you doing? Put you in. If you're not here, then I will spin it again. But we will ask people to join in at other times. Phantom, I'm going to do this for a few more seconds. We ain't a name. We ain't a name on the wheel. What? We ain't a name on the wheel.
You put Hannah down as just win.
Shit. Good point. Fucking hell. You knew this wouldn't go right. Wayne ain't. Yeah. Absolutely no offense, Danzig. I don't have a PC that will let me play good games, says Rock Muse. Phantom says, I zoned out. I quail. And then she's like, oh, I can win something. I zone back in. So professional. There's nothing professional about this. So I've got DJ Baroque, Kindred, Danka, Big Fuzzy Yak, Gozzo, JO, Brian from UKGN, Chloe, Flame, Hannah, Fuzzy Panda, Phantom, I Quail. Anybody else? You can tell we aren't on TikTok tonight. I know we'd be sacked off within seconds because apparently this is classed as gambling. TikTok. I can get away with that because we're on YouTube. Jesse isn't on there. Did Jesse say win?
He did.
He did. Yes, he did. Thank you. There you go. Any more for any more? If not, I'm going to spin it now. Everyone's names will stay on, but we'll do another collection of things. So in 3, 2, 1, the first person to win a copy of Solasta 2 on PC is going to be DJ Baroque. Well done, sir. I will send you the code on Discord a little bit later on. I'm just going to make a note. Well done. And then I will remove your name and we will come back to that a little bit later on because we will do another giveaway a little bit later on. Well done, DJ. Congratulations. But if all other people's names are still on the wheel, as long as you are here when we do the next 2 draws, you still stand a chance to win. So, shall we crack on with our show?
Yeah, let's get going.
Okay, it is our 257th show. Tonight we are going to be discussing John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, Fatal Frame 2, The Crimson Butterfly, Remake, Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection, and WWE 2K26, as well as 4 other games. Plus, we're going to be talking about the top 10 retail charts and a load of other news that's hit. So let's go straight into it. A game that I played last night on stream with Kindred, and I'm sorry for my driving expertise as I got the truck stuck in the mud. But this is a game that people were saying could be the next Left 4 Dead, or is it something a lot more than that? Let's find out as we play the trailer for John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
Got more party crashes coming in. This situation calls for a metric shit ton of bullets.
Woo! It's a zombie apocalypse!
When we work together, we can destroy any gross-ass thing. Job's not looking so bad now, is it?
Protection up!
That's what I'm talking about. Now it's a party!
Go! Go!
Don't mess with a toxic commando!
I had a lot of fun with this last night. I'll give my opinions on it in a bit. Dave, tell us a little bit more about the game.
Yes, this is a new 4-player co-op zombie shooter, much in the vein of the old Left 4 Dead series, where you got shitloads of zombies coming at you, and as well as some of the standard sort of special zombies that will come at you. So you got the big brute ones that will charge you, and like other ones similar to what you had in Left 4 Dead. So very much like that game. But that's not a bad thing, because the original Left 4 Deads were really, really good.
Yeah.
We've had a few games trying to do the same thing in recent years, like Back 4 Blood, which was just kind of okay.
It was all right.
Wasn't, all that really. This one I think looks quite good. I haven't played it myself, but what I've seen of it looks cool. It's made by Saber Interactive. They've made, I think, World War Z in the past and Space Marine 2. Both games that made really good use of their, like, I think their swarm engine. Have all these like big crowds of enemies coming in. And that looks like they're bringing that back in for this one. There's so many zombies coming out. It looks absolutely ridiculous. And I quite like the way that you got the vehicles to drive as well. So it looks like it's a bit sort of open world, semi-open worldish now. So you get to drive a car badly, by the sound of what you did last night.
Yeah, definitely. But
you want to make sure you got someone on your team who knows how to drive before you play this one. Let them go in the vehicle.
Sorry, Kindred.
But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I'd definitely give this a go.
Yeah. So Dan, your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I haven't had a chance to play it myself, but I'm super excited because, especially, I think I was reading the article about how involved John Carpenter's sort of been in it, and like, as a big fan of like some of his, like, obviously like Halloween and The Thing and some of the greatest horror films ever, right? I think there was some cool stuff about. So he's been really, really heavily involved in the story and making it sort of really cool. But then I think his son's also been involved, like with like the like old school like synthesizer like soundtrack stuff as well. So it's right up my alley. Like I loved Left 4 Dead and stuff like that as well. So I've got it's definitely on the list for me in the game to play. But once we stop playing the Division again.
No, it's celebrating its anniversary, isn't it, Division? I'm going to say I thoroughly enjoyed this last night, and yes, I can't drive for shit, as it's been pointed out in chat, and I'm sorry that I got stuck in the mud with the big armor thing, and I did drive the police car into a tree, as you do, and I nearly drove a truck into a lake, as you do, but we had a lot of fun. I do feel it being tagged as a Left 4 Dead clone is not fair, because it does feel very different. Yes, there's zombies. Yes, there's guns. The guns feel great, as I think Kindred mentioned. The driving felt great. It feels it's a very different game. Yes, it's a zombie shooter. I'd say it takes elements of Left 4 Dead, but it also takes elements of things like Killzone. And the fact that you've got a map and you can approach it any way you want, rather than being linear like Left 4 Dead, makes me think it's very much I wouldn't say it's a better game than Left 4 Dead, but it's certainly up there, and it's better than what Back 4 Blood tried to do. Can you put sentry guns on top of the tank? Didn't get that far. But you can put sentry guns and stuff elsewhere, but we didn't get that far. And it's a campaign story, yeah. So I like the fact the campaign story basically continues instead of just a multiplayer game, yeah. So I want to play a lot more of this, and I will give a proper verdict further down the line. There you go. In fairness, I drove my car over a clipping last night. Thank God it's not just me. But I think it deserves better than being just pigeonholed into that. So I hope it does really, really well. But I will give a proper score when I get a few more levels down. But I really enjoyed what we played last night. So for those who've not seen the show before or been on the show many a time, we don't actually review the games. We basically get a ton of review scores from all the different gaming press, turn that into an average score. You may agree with it, you may not, but if you get it correct, then we'll give you a shout out in the chat. You can have everything from 0 to 10 and have 0.5s. And Dave and our guest this evening will also be guessing. I'm also going to say that we have pinned the Kepler Steam store to the top of the chat. So if anyone wants to go and wish list Solasta 2 now, or any of the other games that they've got coming out, because we're going to be talking about some other games in a bit, please do so now. But every time Dan gets it right, we'll be shouting out the Kepler Steam page for everybody. There you go. So let's see what scores are coming into chat straight away. So let's go to the top. Here we go. Big Fuzzy Hat wasn't sure. She was having a thing. So Chloe kicks us off with an 8.5. Brian said an 8. So Big Fuzzy Hat then said, Queen says 8.5. So I'll jump on the bandwagon with an 8.5. Danka says a 7.5. Gozzo 7.5. Hannah 7.5. Rock News 7.5. Legendary JL 7.5. Big Fuzzy Panda 8.5. Ben, I'm going to round you up. Good evening, Ben, by the way. That's going to be an 8.5. And not to an 8, so you'll have to say. Flame says a 7. Retro Shazar 7. Any more in the chat? Get them in now. This is for John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which came out last Thursday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and it's round about 35 quid. You can get it cheap at other places, about 30 quid. That's across all platforms. Dave, what do you reckon?
I'll try an 8 for this one.
Okay, going for an 8. Dan, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I was definitely. I think, yeah, I reckon they pigeonholed all those other sort of zombie games into the sort of 6.57s, and I'm hoping they've kind of gone a bit higher with this. So an 8 for me as well. Okay,
Kindred going for an 8 as well. So, any more for any more? If not, I can reveal that this is one of the reasons why I want to play more of this, because I think it deserves higher than this on first impressions. Got a 7.5, which is still decent.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I want to get a few more levels under my belt. I want to see reasons. Does it get 7.5? Does it become a bit too samey and adds nothing new? I wasn't thinking 9. I was thinking an 8 or an 8.5. But I really enjoyed it last night. I think 8 is probably a kind of thing. But the player reviews are very positive. Remember, this is the critics' score, so you just take it with a pinch of salt. They don't always get it right. So I will let you know when I've played more of it. I'll give my opinion whether that 7.5 is just or not. It was a bit like the Carmageddon game. That got a 7. I actually think that deserves higher than that. I've played a lot of that, but it's not a Carmageddon game. So that's why they scored it. Whereas if you remove the Carmageddon name on it, I think that's a decent 8 as well. I've really enjoyed playing that, and that's a game you can dip into, and this is sort of the same. So I'll let you know about that. So congratulations to Danka, Gozzo, Rock News, Hannah, Legendary JL. Anybody else say 7.5? I think that was it. Congratulations, you're the first ones to get it right. Could it be due to the need for online hampering the score? Yeah, it has to be online always, which is a thing. But it does state it on the box. So you can't complain about that. People can't complain about that. It does state on the box. Rockme says, I got it right. It doesn't happen very often. Well done. It's 8 missions. Oh, so thing is, we did what? An intro mission and 2 missions, and we did that in 3 hours. And they are planning to add more missions, so we'll have to see whether that's going to be DLC or not. But then Left 4 Dead was only, a handful, and they kept adding stuff to it, so can't really use that against it either, to be honest. All right, moving on to our next game. A game that I will be playing in 2 Mondays' time. This also came out on Thursday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2 and PC. And this is the remake of Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. Let's have a look at the trailer for this one.
I have to follow my sister. The lost village.
The ritual will begin soon.
Come on, let's get out of here. Mayu, stop! Mayu! The camera obscura.
Don't look down there.
Everyone died.
Are you leaving me again?
We can't escape after all. No matter what happens, I'll forgive you, Mia. Together until the very end. Come on, Mia. Let's go.
And it's going to be the first time I've ever had a game sent to me by KT and Team Ninja. So cheers for that. I'm looking forward to playing this on a week on Monday. I'll be playing that. So yeah, there's been a lot of hype about this one. 45 quid on all platforms, Kindred says. Dave, tell us a little bit more, please.
Yeah, so we've had a few remakes of the Fatal Frame games. Similar to what Capcom are doing with the Resident Evils. Fatal Frame is getting a bit of a more modern glow up, and this is a remake of the 2003 Fatal Frame 2. From what I can tell, it looks pretty decent. I've never played this particular survival horror series, but graphically it looks pretty decent. The story for this one is a couple of sisters end up wandering into like the haunted village and get sort of trapped in there, and the one sister, Mia, I think has to try and save her sister from whatever ritual and stuff is going on there, armed only with the camera obscura. To try and fight off all the ghosts that are coming towards you, which does look pretty freaky. Trying to like get those in the frame before they attack you. Just like it get a bit scary, a bit creepy. But yeah, it looks pretty decent. I've heard good things about it, so I think you might need a spare pair of trousers when you play that in a couple of Mondays' time, mate.
Yeah, again, all I seem to be doing is horror games this month. March seems to have become the new October. It's so bizarre. That's what's happened. But
it'll just be cozy games in October, won't it?
Yeah, you watch it will be all cozy games. Yeah, Pumpkin Farmer Simulator or something. It'll be in October. But there you go. I'll see if I can get that sorted for a week on Monday, Kindred. I'll try and get that sorted because we did want it for Resident Evil, but I didn't have time. From Claire Obscura to Camera Obscura, Danzig. Your thoughts on that? Yes.
Very nice. I like that.
Thank you.
10 out of 10 puns.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I actually played the original back when, and it's scarily when I was a teenager, and I remember being absolutely shit scared then. Weirdly, like the trailer just now didn't sort of bring back that sort of like fear and stuff like that. Like, I wonder if it's sort of they've made the trailer a little bit more like nicey, because I remember the actual game being terrifying quite a lot. But yeah, another one that I'll definitely play because the original was one that I played quite a lot. But yeah, interesting. Like I say, like Dave said, Team Ninja especially doing quite a lot of remakes of some of their sort of more like 20-year-old titles and things like that at the minute. Like I know they did the Ninja series and stuff recently as well. So it looks great. Like I think it would be a really good one.
There you go. 2003 was the original. There you go. But I agree with you.
Do the maths on how old that makes me.
Yeah,
best not to do it. We don't want to
leave that well alone. But yeah, I agree with you. The trailer wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, considering everyone's saying how scary this game is. But maybe then they're lulling you into a false sense of security. So I probably will need a good pair
put
of
some
trousers.
headphones on, turn out the lights. Yeah,
probably, and crap on the floor. Let's see what people are saying with scores. Chat, get your scores in now. Big Fuzzy Axe 7, Chloe 7, Hannah 7, Danka 7.5, Gozzo 7.5. We're slowly creeping up. Oh no, back down 7. Rock News 8. Dan, I'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I think, again, I haven't looked huge into this, but just going off the trailer and sort of just the general that it's a remake vibe, I think it will kind of come in at about sort of 7.5. I think maybe like scarier games have come out since, and it might knock it down a bit.
All right, 7.5. Okay. Kindred agreeing with you. Dan, Flame 7. Big Fuzzy Yacht says there's a theme, but is there? Brian says the original was great. I've heard some say the remake makes some silly changes. Interesting. Retro Jazar 7.5. iQuail 8. Chat, last chance to get your scores in. This is Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake, which came out on Thursday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. Dave, what's your score going to be?
I'll try an 8.
Okay, going for an 8. All right. Well, if there are no more scores in chat, I can tell you. Oh, Dave Johnson coming in there with 7.5. Kindred also saying, yeah, much scarier games released recently, like Barbie Horsetails. True story. Yeah, don't go near that. I have nightmares for months. Yeah. I can tell you that this got 8 out of 10 on average. 8 out of 10. So there you go. Let's see who got it right. Working my way backwards. iQuail, well done. You got it right. Rock News is now 2 for 2. Well done, Rock News. A lot of people were a lot lower, 7 and 7.5s. But there you go. Dave says, trust me, I got it right. No, you didn't. 7.5, Dave. Behave. Barbie Horsetails stream for a sub goal. It might happen. It might happen. Stranger things have happened. I've done Peppa Pig and God knows what else. So there we go. There we go. Have I missed anyone else out? I think that's everyone. Yeah, I think that's all right. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to some. No, I haven't missed you out, Dave. Behave. There you go. Let's move on to some gaming news. Funnily enough, a game that Dave was talking about earlier, and not very good news at that. EA last week confirms layoff across the board for all Battlefield teams. Now, we don't know how many exactly people have been laid off. We're waiting for that. There's unknown numbers, but people from Ripple Effect, DICE, Criterion, and Motive have all been laid off, which is interesting because Battlefield 6, apparently the statement was we have to realign for Battlefield 6, which doesn't really mean anything really these days. But it's interesting because Battlefield 6 was a bit of a success story because it sold 7 million copies in 3 days and ended up being one of the biggest selling games in the US, even outselling the new Call of Duty. But Steam reviews over the past months have dropped from decent to mixed. There has been a lot of content delayed. And there's also the microtransactions haven't gone down too well because people are saying that the price of stuff is not great now. Whether Dave will comment on this because he's been playing it frequently, so let me know. But it just means that maybe Battlefield 6 is not doing as well as it first started out, and they will have to do stuff to keep those players playing that game because number of consecutive players, I think it was like 450,000 on one day or something, is now dropped down to something like 40,000 per day. So it is a significant drop. So they're going to have to do stuff to keep people in. Dave, did I forget to give you a shout out? Did you get that right, that last game?
Oh, I did say 8, didn't I?
You did. We will do a double shout out in a bit. We'll do it after this news story.
Sounds
So
like
thank
fun.
you to chat for reminding me. Thank you. But yeah, your thoughts, gents, because we were quite pleased that Battlefield 6 had done really well. Like, yeah, it was like it's back, it's a success story, and now it doesn't seem it's doing as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is good. It is a good game. You know, I still go back to it. There's plenty of the multiplayer games I've played that I get bored of quite quickly and I don't go back to. But I am still enjoying Battlefield 6. But I mean, like a lot of online games, you know, there's only so many people available to play these things, and there's so many frigging online games to play. Trying to keep, you know, a massive audience isn't, you know, easy. As you say, it had, you know, massive numbers to begin with. I think it was around the 700,000.
I think when it kicked off, yeah,
but now it's like hovering around the sort of 50-ish thousand on Steam. You know, I don't know what it's like on other platforms.
46 on Steam, I heard, but they couldn't get the figures for Xbox or PlayStation yet.
Yeah.
So
it will vary. I mean, it's gone up a little bit, you know, probably today because we've had a new map launch today, and you know, 2 weeks ago we had a new map then, so you get little peaks and things like that come out. But I think part of the problem like the game's got, and a lot of people keep, you know, saying it to them on like forums, is you've got only like 2 maps coming out with each season, and now after the second map's come out, you know, it says there's like 8 weeks left of the season until we get Series 3. So we've got no new maps coming, you know, for eight weeks. Then is it going to be another two maps again for season 3? And are they going to be the sort of maps the community wants? Because the community really wants like more big open maps, whereas a lot of these feel sort of medium sized, if you like. Not like, you know, massive ones you used to get in the older games, and sometimes you're getting smaller infantry focused maps. Like today's map is a smaller infantry focus.
Right.
There's no vehicles in it. It's just like an underground Air Force base. You know, it's smallish in size. It was a bit of a meat grind, like because I said earlier, Operation Metro. It seemed all right when I played it earlier, but you know, I need to play a bit more, actually learn them out, because I didn't know where I was going half the time. Ended up getting caught out, so I need to play a few more rounds on it. So yeah, they could really do with boosting up the number of maps they're putting out. Probably not wasting their time on these time-limited modes that they keep pushing out. There's one today, I think, called Nightfall or something, where it's with smaller teams putting like night vision goggles on in the base where it's dark, and it seemed okay, but it's not a mode I'm going to jump back into. You know, Battlefield's already got lots of good modes there. You kind of think, why can't they just concentrate on the really good modes they've already got? You put the resources elsewhere. You know, they keep seeming to get things wrong, and that's probably not helping the player base stay around, which then isn't, you know, making enough for EA to keep all these people employed across all the studios. Because I mean, you've probably got thousands of people across those studios, and you know, they're not making money to keep them going. Then you know, they're going to start getting rid of people. Oh, plus as well, you have to bear in mind that EA, you know, getting sold to the Saudis, and they're going to be taking on 20 billion in debt. So they're going to be fucking a lot of people off, no doubt, to try and make up that 20 billion in debt that they've got to pay back. So that's going to be a factor as well. Okay.
I mean, Kindred mentioned about maybe they should do more free play weekends. Funny enough, I got an email today.
There is one coming up. I think starting today.
This weekend. Yeah, I think. Well, even today.
Week-long one starting today. The new maps. Yeah, you can play a few modes for free. Might tempt some more people in, but as I say, people aren't exactly sport for choice.
No. Okay, Dan, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's a weird. Like I think like Kindred said in the comments, it's like this would have been the year to have dethroned COD and really smashed out the park. Where like COD stank. Like
it did.
It just really didn't do it. Like I was really excited about COD. You know, I was a big Heroes fan, so seeing Peter Petrelli sort of coming in and sort of wanted to do something really cool, but it reeked. So yeah, you know. Same. I think my issue with Battlefield is still that like massive barrier to entry with the price. Still, I think it's like huge, like, especially like they don't really have that sort of USP that they've really found yet. There's nothing like, you know, if I want to play something a bit more realistic, I'd even, you know, boot up like PUBG and things like that if I want to play something like that. Like that's like got no barrier. I can boot up, like jump in with my friends, cosplay, whatever. And yeah, Battlefield just never really like owned that sort of, you know, they've like exactly like Dave said, they've got these really cool modes that you can have like, you know, 100 odd people and stuff like that in there that they've never really gone, that's our thing, let's make it work really, really well. They're sort of instead playing around with a couple of weird things to see if it works. And I think I was looking at the stats as well of just like how many like sort of streamers are picking it up and sticking with it, and it just doesn't have that stickiness for them either. They're not going like, you know, they're not getting that sort of wave of people saying, I'm going to play this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not there for some reason. So until they find that thing that makes it fun for other people to watch and like something that I'd recommend to my mate to spend that much money on so that we can play together, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll see how well it does and whether it can revamp itself to get more players on. If we find out more, we'll talk about it on this very channel. Let's move on to our next new game tonight, which came out also on Thursday on PC. And this is one that Brian did say, well, if you're not talking about this or this game, what else is there to talk about? Well, here is the trailer. A game that's been in early access for quite a while, but now officially got released on PC. This is Timberborn. There you go. So Timberborn finally gets its 1.0 launch. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one.
Yeah, this is a city builder set long after humanity's extinction. We've fucked up the planet, killed ourselves, but the beavers are still around. So
Nice.
got to see if they can do better than us. And they're going to be sort of trying to deal with the fallout from us not being there and the mistakes that we made. So you'll be building the cities with them and trying to make a good water supply, trying to irrigate your farmland and stuff, and trying to sort of prepare yourself for like these intermittent water droughts that happen. So you got to make sure you've got enough like resources and stuff, squared away for when these droughts occur, so that you can survive that. And then once all the water starts coming back, you can carry on from there. So it's got a bit of a sort of survival aspect to it as well. Looks quite cool from what I've seen of it. The city building looks quite cool. I think you get to sort of build on top of structures, so you can put like workshops on top of other things. You haven't got to just lay everything out flat. You can build vertically, and as well as like making sure you can survive these droughts. You've got to be careful of I think sort of sewage type water coming in, waste type water coming in. You got to make sure that gets like filtered away and make sure everyone survives. And for people who like sort of setting up automation in these sort of games, like get everything really nice, you can do that in this as well. That's something that came in during the early access phase. City building, it's got the automation there, got the survival. So there's quite a lot there for people to get stuck into, and it looks pretty decent.
Dan, your thoughts on this one?
Nice beaver.
Yeah.
I think I've not played it myself, but I have watched quite a lot of people playing it online and stuff. And a lot of people are sort of like, saying that it's sort of like obviously like marketed as like a city builder, but then it almost feels like almost more like a sort of climate sim. I think the sort of like everything revolves around the sort of water management and stuff, and it's very easy to sort of get sidetracked and then realize that all your beavers are gonna sort of suffer drought and things like that. And after watching that Hoppers film recently with the kids, I think, maybe we're having a bit of a beaver revolution this year. So I think it's going to be a great game for anyone into that sort of thing. I'll definitely give it a go when it sort of launches into the 1.0 as well.
Okay, don't want a dry beaver. Very true.
Definitely not.
Very true. Brian said this was our first 10 out of 10 game of the year that they reviewed. The missus has close to 800 hours since she bought it. There you go. Wow. Kindred said it's normally £29.50, but it's down to £23.60 right at the moment, and getting very positive player reviews. Need to trim the wood. Indeed. Let's see what scores people are giving it. Danka, 8.5. Gozzo, 8.5. Hannah, 8.5. Kindred, 8.5. Is everyone just going to go 8.5? Oh no, Rock Muse 8. There you go. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon? Chat, get your scores in, please, to win a
I
shout.
think I'll try an 8.5.
Dave's going for an 8.5.
Seems what everyone else is going for. They must know something.
All right. Well, Legendary Jail goes 8.5. Retro Shazar 8. Brian 9. Dan, what do you reckon?
I feel like I'm going to side with like if Brian's missus has got 800 hours in this, I feel like that's the expert in the room. So I'm going to go 9.
Okay, going for a 9. Flame saying an 8. Iquel for a 9. While we're going to get the scores, the rest of the scores in from chat, Dave, how would you like your first shout out? I'm going to do one before we reveal the score and one after the score. If you assume it's right.
Let's start you off with some spinning.
Okay, here we go. Get ready. Remember, exclamation Dave in the chat. Agreed. A whopping 9 says Computer Club Matt. Here we go. Dave!
Very good.
There you go. Oh no, the pressure, says Brian. Yes. I have no idea how these sort of games do normally. Neither do I. I'm not going to lie. Any more? This is Timberborn, which came out last Thursday on PC. If there are no more scores in the chat, I can tell you that this got an 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. So there you go. A lot of people got this right. Rock Muse has now been knocked off her crown, which she's now level pegging with some other people. Because Legendary JL, congratulations, you got it right. Kindred, you got it right. Hannah, you got it right. Gozzo and Danka all said 8.5. So let the shout outs commence, you lovely, lovely people. So there you go. 8.5 for that one. Brian says, sorry, Dan, can't be helped. There you go. So, yeah, quite a few people have got 2 out of 3. Hannah, I think Gozzo, Rock Muse, Danka. Anyone else got 2 out of 3? Let us know in the chat. Except Dave Johnson. We don't believe him, what he says. Let's move on swiftly to our next game. This also came out on Thursday on PC, PS5, and Switch. And this is Collector's Cove. Let's have a look at this one. There you go. That is Collector's Cove. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one.
Yeah, I think as you could gather from the trailer, this is a bit of a cozy game.
Mm-hmm.
You're chilling out on a little boat out in the open sea, where you get to make a little farm on there, and you've got this cute sort of sea creature that's I think your boat is on its back by the look of it, and it's pulling you along the seas. You get to customize that as well, make it look how you want it to look, and you'll sail across the seas to various islands where you've got to explore and find crops and fish and creatures. I think you're also trying to complete like a collector's compendium by discovering all these things. But it does look very cute. It's got very cutesy graphics to it, which I think is going to appeal to a lot of people. Because whilst these types of games just aren't for me, so many people love them. There's so many of these just get released all the time. They're massively popular. So looking at this one, I can see it doing pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. Apparently, it's normally 18 quid, but on Steam, it's down to £16.19 on Switch, and it's 16 quid on PlayStation. So there you go. Dan, your thoughts on this little cozy game?
Yeah, I think there'll be a few people that maybe don't own a Nintendo that'll be quite happy that this is coming out around this time. I imagine if you did, there's probably another title you might be picking up in the same sort of category at the moment. But yeah, I think it's a nice, cute one. And I think, you know, credit where credit's due. I think a lot of these kind of like cozy farming sims do kind of all look very, very similar. And I think the fact that they've tried to do something a little bit different with the fact that the farm literally floats around the island with you and things like that. And it's kind of, there's a few unique sort of things to some of the crops and things that you can sort of harvest. I quite like the sort of mix with the little ghosts and things like that.
Yeah.
At least it's got like a little bit of like uniqueness to it compared to some of the others. Pretty good.
Yeah. I have been offered this a number of times. It's not really my kind of thing, but I did like when I looked at it and read through it, because everyone sends me these press releases and I have a look at what we cover and what we don't and stuff. And some I go, okay, we'll just cover this on the talk show, but it's not something I'm going to play. But I have to say, we've seen many of these cozy games, and a lot of them, as you say, do just copy and rinse, repeat stuff. And I thought, well, this is trying to do something different. So I hope this does well. I this does very, very well. Let's have a look at what people are saying for scores. Danka, 8. Gozzo, 8. Hannah, 8. Oh my God, it's going to be one of those again. Brian, 8. JL, 8. Rockmuse, 8. Kindred, 8. I want it to be 8, so we all have to get shout outs. Dan, what do you reckon it's going to be?
8, why not?
Yeah, why not? Let's jump on the bandwagon. Everyone's saying 8. Flame is saying a safe 7. There you go.
Daring to be different.
Good on you, Flame, for being different. Dave will quit if it's an 8. That's probably true. Retro Shazar, an 8. Yay, peer pressure. Dave, what say you?
I'll go for an 8 as well. We'll see what they
Why not? Why not? I'm not even scoring. I know what the score is, but I'm going to say an 8 as well. Screw it. Why not? Let's just add to it. Any more for any more? This is Collector's Cove, which came out on Thursday for PC, PS5, and Switch. And apparently it's a pretty decent price, and you get about 20 hours out of it. So that's not bad for what they're charging. So there you go. iQuail, bucking the trend, 7.5. If there's any more, you can hold your scores and hold your beers, because I feel sorry for the mods, because it was an 8 out of 10 on average. So firstly, can we get a shout out for the wonderful Dan from Kepler Interactive? Go check out the Kepler Steam store. You can get all their amazing titles, such as Expedition 33 or the wonderful Pacific Drive, and you can wishlist all their new games right from there. Go do it now. That link will be appearing, and it's tagged to the top of the chat as well. We're also going to say congratulations to the following people who seem to be doing really well. We've got people are doing really well tonight. There's a big chunk of people that are guessing the scores. Retro Shazar, well done. Kindred, Rockmuse, JL, Brian, Hannah, Gozzo, Danka, all of you. Hopefully I've not missed anyone there. All said it. And obviously, our Dave got his second one right. So, Dave, how would you like your next shout out? I can't say I quit.
You can do your walk on from the side, mate.
Okay. Me or Bob Ross?
We'll go with you this time. We've done Bob Ross before, haven't we?
Okay, yeah. All right.
We'll do the knee cracking later.
Yeah, we'll do the knee cracking later.
Yeah, I thought this will let you limber up a little bit first.
Okay. Are you good?
Go for it.
Do you know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different. Why not? Let's just go totally random. Dave!
Is it Christmas already?
Apparently, so yeah.
It's been a long show.
Yeah, just found them on the side. Feels like Christmas with everyone getting those scores right. Well done. Crack those knees, says Kindred. Exclamation Dave in the chat for your appreciation for Dave. There you go. Deer in the headlights. Exactly. I'm now going to, as I normally do now, we slam through a couple of news stories that caught my eye. No, I've already done that, iQuail. He's had his 2 shout outs. So he's all good. He's all good. As far as I know, I've done all the shout outs, I think. If I've missed any, then bloody hell. Right. Let me know. couple of news stories that caught my eye. We're just going to hammer through these. So, obviously, me and Dave have just finished Resident Evil Requiem. But they officially announced that we will be getting some official DLC. After 6 million copies sold of the game, there will be some DLC for Resident Evil Requiem coming out. But they said, please be patient because it ain't going to be anytime soon. But we tend to find that with these games, it can be a year or two. It happened with Resident Evil Village. It happened with Resident Evil 4 Remake. But they are adding a photo mode very soon. And in May, there is a brand new mini-game mode, which everyone seems to think will be the Mercenaries mode. Which, if it is, a lot of people are going to be happy with that because they do add that mode in to the game. So we could be seeing that very, very soon. So that's a little bit of news for you on the Resident Evil front. Next, I thought this was hilarious. So Starfield, as mentioned a couple of weeks ago, is coming to PlayStation 5. And a composer that works for Bethesda had stated that a lot of people just weren't ready for Starfield. They didn't truly understand it because Todd Howard is a visionary. Well, let's just put this into context. In 2023, Starfield came out on PC and Xbox to very, very, very mixed reviews. Pontus Ras Musson, I hope I got your name right. What are we talking about? We're talking about loads of different things right now. Happy to have you here. And it got very lukewarm reception, with some people not really liking the game, some people saying it's okay. And then that was followed up with a DLC, which again didn't get very good reviews. However, the reason this comment's come out about Starfield and the fact that it's coming to PlayStation 5 is the fact that this composer that has worked with Bethesda for many years and worked on things has said you have to sometimes let Todd Howard cook. Because then, when they have got a game that doesn't come out quite right, it eventually gets there. Now, Fallout 76 was a prime example of this. Fallout 76 on release was bloody awful. Probably one of the worst things Bethesda's done in a long time. But then became an excellent game. And they're saying that there's a lot more planned with Starfield, which is surprising because apparently there's more DLCs to come and more added things and more extra things. So, could we... I'm just putting this out hypothetically. Chat, let us know. Could we possibly get a game that in 5 years' time is even better than when it was released? So a bit like a No Man's Sky scenario, Sea of Thieves scenario. Let us know what you think in the chat. Ponta says, let's have a rave. Maybe. In a bit. Also, this one got... This will definitely cause a rave. I thought this was funny. An ex-exec of Blizzard, or former vice president of Blizzard, who worked on Overwatch, basically said, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. In reference to people moaning about games that they haven't played. He's basically saying that in this world, there are so many games and so many different things you can try. It's fair enough if you've tried it, reviewed it, played it. Great, you're entitled to opinion. But if you haven't played it, shut the fuck up because you ain't entitled to an opinion. I actually agree with that.
No, definitely.
It's kind of why we do this show as we do the show, because we say, take the reviewers' scores with a pinch of salt. If you want to try the game yourself, go for it. I've always, there's scores we've given out on this show and I've tried other games. I've either said I thought the game was worse than what they've scored it or better. So there you go. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has them. So there you go. Sea of Thieves is lovely, isn't it? Yes. Sea of Thieves became an absolute phenomenon and fair play to Rare for what they've done. I'll be honest, though, I'm quite sad. I used to play that game daily. I haven't played it in 2 years. I just don't have the time anymore. But I'm so glad that it became the game that it is because it's become an absolute phenomenon. So well done, Rare. Let's hope Bethesda can get there with Starfield, because then I might actually... I did play the game. I didn't think it was anything special. I think a lot of people said that. I think out of our community, only Sophie was the one that really liked it. She completed it twice. But I don't know many people who really, really got into it. But there you go. UKGN says the mission statement is no such thing as an incorrect opinion. As long as you played the game, you're entitled to opinion. So I agree with what was his name? Jeff Copeland. Mr. Jeff Copeland. Good on you for saying shut the fuck up. And that's our latest roundup of news from the week. Now, moving on to other things. Blakey, good evening. Said never played Sea of Thieves, but it's crap. I can say what I like, even if I haven't played it. Blakey, I love you, but as Jeff Copeland would say, shut the fuck up. There you go. You know I don't mean that, dude. We're going to talk more Kepler games. So this is an interesting one. So we're going to set the scene because cast your mind back 2 Christmases ago. Every Christmas over December, we give away hundreds of games, numbers of games that I get, games that I get from different publishers, such as the wonderful Kepler, and games that the community donate as well. And we've been doing this for now 3 years, and we're going to be doing it again in December. 2 Christmases ago, Dan very kindly donated some keys for a game called Tankhead. And I'm going to let him explain what has happened since, because we are going to play a trailer. But should we do the trailer first? And then we can explain it. So this is another game that you can now wishlist, but you can also play somewhere else, but I'll explain that in a minute. So here is the trailer for Tank Rat. All will be revealed, and we're going to give another copy of Solasta 2 away in a very few moments. Hello, Lisa. How are you? Great to see you.
I know we've never quite seen eye to eye. Believe it or not, Whitaker, we want the same thing. It's all out there in the zone. You never know what you might find.
So there you go. So 2 Decembers ago, some of you, I think Big Jesse won a copy. I can't remember who the other person was. Won some copies, courtesy of Dan then. But that was a game called Tankhead. So Dan, please explain what's happened and why is this kind of getting a re-release kind of thing?
Yeah, so Tankhead came out as an Epic exclusive a couple of years ago. It was one of those where we sort of weren't 100% sure how a game like this was going to go down. We didn't have like many benchmarks on our side, so it was a bit of a risky one. But after releasing on Epic, it ended up really taking off there, as you know, as much as a game on the Epic store against, you know, the Fortnites and stuff can really do. But it was constantly in like the top 10 best selling all the way through and over Christmas. It did really well, and it actually gave the team enough sort of cash and everything, and enough success that they were like, right, this is actually done a lot better than we thought. Rather than moving on to our next project, what we're going to do is double down basically on the game, improve every single thing from like the music to the voices, all of the graphics and everything have all had a massive upgrade. But then they've added on like an additional, basically like Act 2 to the game, and sort of expanded a lot of the lore and things like that as well. As part of that, there was a lot of talk about like, how do we sort of rebrand this? Is it like Tankhead 2.0? And then as we were sort of looking at various things online, we noticed that there were like other things out there called Tankhead. There's like a really awesome like anime like art magazine and stuff like that. So we thought it was a good time to kind of like give it a rebrand. And out of like a million names that were circulating at the time, we ended up with Tank Rat, with the idea that you're kind of this kind of like little ratty drone thing that has to scavenge around to find things to then build up your tank and things like that, which is really cool. But yeah, it's been really great to sort of see the team sort of have that sort of like so much love and support on a game that's released on Epic, which I think, as you know, sometimes people think that's kind of where things just kind of go to not necessarily get a lot of spotlight, but like there are breakouts that happen over there, and it's a really cool success story from our side. And yeah, really looking forward to sort of everyone. I'd say if you manage to play it in the old version, even the first act has been so revamped. I think it's totally worth the replay, and it's like completely ironed out. The way that you die and can revive has been changed, which annoyed a lot of people and things like that. There's some really cool stuff. But then Act 2 stuff, when they kind of throw in a load of like curveballs in the story and stuff, gives me some like old, you know, the kind of like curveballs you might get towards the end of like a BioShock game and things like that. Like kind of like, okay, yeah, the guy I thought was that isn't yet. So I won't spoil it for anyone, obviously, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's just nice to have like a game where you can just drive around shooting stuff. Like there haven't been that many like great tank games really, like especially like as like a single player campaign. It's very much been like, you know, everyone goes that tank game, you got World of Tanks, what are there sort of other ones out there? As someone that sort of like really enjoyed, you know, old A10 tank buster games and things like that growing up, it's like, where are those games of just sort of, there's a bit of story in the background, but you can just drive around and blow stuff up, and it feels good to do it. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. And it's going to be coming out later this year at some point. So once we know we got a date, I'm sure we'll talk about it on this show. If you want to wish list it, again, in the chat, the Steam store for Kepler is pinned. What Mew says, blowing stuff up sounds good. It does. It's a lot of fun. So go wish list it now. And for those who've already played it, Danker and Jesse were the people that won the copies. So good on them. You might want to have a second look at it because it's going to be a completely different game. But also, we are now going to do our second of our free giveaways, courtesy of Dan at Kepler. So let me bring up the spinny wheel. So anyone who's just joined us, we are giving away copies of the early access of Solasta 2, which came out last week on early access. This is for PC only. I have got Kindred, Danker, Big Fuzzy Yak, Gozzo, JL, UKGN, Chloe, Flame, Hannah, Fuzzy Panda, Phantom, iQuell, Jesse. If you want to take part and you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, just type the word win if your name is not there. You have to be here to win it, though. So I know Chloe's left, so if she does get called out, she won't win it, unfortunately. So, Dave Johnson, you get added to the wheel. Anybody else? Does Lisa fancy a go, or anyone else that's not got their name on? I'm literally going to give people 30 seconds. Blakey, good on you. I'm glad you didn't fuck off after I told you to fuck off. Bless you. I was a bit like, oh, no. Blue Lou, hello, Blue Lou. How are you? Good to see you again. Blue Lou, you're on there. Anyone else? Any more for any more? Hello, by the way, I'm watching on TV. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate support, as always. Any more? I'm literally going to give you 10 seconds. Just type the word win. We are giving away a copy of the brand new Solasta 2 early access, courtesy of Kepler, on PC. If you put your name down now, we're doing a... There you go. Thank you, Lisa. We're also doing a third draw at the end, so make sure you stick around. If you don't win now, make sure you're at the end of the stream. So we go. Are we ready? Let's see how close I get this Nat's penis away last time. I know, well, I'm going to really mess things up because I'm going to shuffle the names. And in 3, 2, 1, here comes our second winner. DJ Barocca's our first winner. And we've got... Oh, it's Danker. Where are you gone? Belarus, I will add your name in because you were just a bit late. But Danker, congratulations. You are our second winner. But Belarus, I will add your name on, so you've still got a chance to win. Good to see you as well, Belarus. If it's not iQuell, it's Danker. There you go. So there you go. That is our second winner. We will do a third and final draw. And again, Dan, thank you so much for giving us these game codes for tonight's show. So there we go. Let's swiftly move on to our fifth game. And this was a game that also came out in early access last year, but has now got its full release. Came out on Thursday for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. And even though it's a sequel, it's technically a prequel. This is Greedfall 2, The Dying World. Let's have a look at this.
The day they set foot upon our land, ashes swirled through the wind. They slaughtered us, ripped us from our home, and bound us in chains like beasts cast into a world that was never ours. Yet some of us escaped.
This mainland doesn't suit us, and the people here think we're nothing but peace.
They're looking to blame their monstrosities and to provoke a complete war between all nations.
You've gone mad.
There's a fine line between genius and madness, but rest assured, I'm going to show you the difference.
They turned us into experiments, desperate to unravel the source of our power.
This research is inhumane. It has only one goal: to spread death.
Soldiers, show me you're worth more than this scum.
Let us put an end to the General's plans.
You killed me, your love. I die for you.
You all know why we're here.
I'm not the forgiving type.
Now the time has come to take back what was stolen and to break our people's chains forever.
There you go. So a sequel that's not a sequel, but it's a prequel. I think they've actually taken the 2 out of the title now, because originally it was number 2. So they've kind of said, yeah, this is a prequel. About 45 quid across all platforms, this one. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one.
Yeah, you might say this is a prequel. I think it's been to take place about 3 years before the original game. In this one, your character's been kidnapped from their homeland, taken to the continent of Cocaine, I think it's called, and he's kept as a prisoner there, but manages to escape. And you've actually got to try and navigate your way around this foreign land that you don't understand. But you'll meet various people who can join your party on the way to sort of help you out with that. And you ultimately, I think, need to try and take out the main sort of person who's caused all the problems. Whose company sort of pulled you from your homeland before you can go back there. So it's another sort of big RPG. Lots of people to meet, quests to go on, stuff to do. Even though it's been in early access, from what I was reading on like Steam reviews earlier, it sounds like it's still got some issues there, quite a few bugs and stuff to it.
Okay,
a little bit rough. So probably one of those ones that's probably worth keeping an eye on the Steam reviews, see if they start to improve a little bit as the developer puts a few patches out, so if you target the game. Of anyone wondering combat-wise, it's not turn-based combat in this one. It is real-time combat, but it's kind of like what they did with the old Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, where you have got the option to do like a tactical pause, and then I believe and then you can like queue up actions that your character and the other character are going to do, and then you unpause and just let them go nuts. So yeah, it looks all right graphics-wise, and it sounds like it's got a good story to it, but I think it just needs a little bit more work before it really is worth delving into.
It's interesting because it feels like it's moved away from what the original game was. I played quite a bit of the original game, and that felt more like a sort of Assassin's Creed-y kind of that sort of style game. So this feels it's quite a bit of a departure, even though it's got some elements of the same.
Yeah.
Dan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've not played much. I played the original, and it is like I've been following it closely because I quite like the way that they've kind of done the narrative spin. So like even though I think the first game you're much more playing as almost like the colonists, which was quite a weird one. You're sort of like, and then sort of like having this as kind of the flip other way around, almost the other side story, even though it's a prequel as well.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how they sort of play that. But yeah, again, like I agree. I've seen like the original sort of trailers and stuff I'd seen around this seemed very much more like ingrained in that sort of old like RPG type thing, and they're sort of adding all these additional elements now about like almost like it's like almost become like a mix between like an Assassins and like a Civilization kind of title with like the sort of like mechanics and stuff they got in there now. So it's an interesting one. But yeah, I've not played enough to sort of judge on this one.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see what chat are saying. Get your scores in chat. You can get a shout out for your channel. Where are we going? Dank is guessing a 7. He's not sure about this one. Brian saying a 6. Gozzo going for a 7. Rockmuse going for a 6.5. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I'll try a 7.
Going for a 7. Well, we got Lisa coming in with a 7. Kindred, a 7. Hannah, a 7 as well. Dan, what do you reckon?
Just with it sort of like maybe not having like it's quite everything together quite yet. Maybe like a 6.5. Let's go 6.5.
Okay. 6.5. JL going for a 7. Folks, get your scores in chat to get a shout out. This is Greedfall, The Dying World. I'm not going to say Greedfall 2 anymore, even though it is technically a prequel, which came out last Thursday on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and it's about 45 quid. Flame says a 6.5. No worries, Iquel. We'll have to get some of the other mods into thing if you fall asleep, bless you, because he's been working hard. Retro Jazar saying a 6. And if there are any more, or if there are no more guesses, I can tell you that it probably does need a bit more patching because the reviews on release are a 6.5. So it's good. It's just nothing that special at the moment. Hopefully I'll fix that. So well done to the following people. Flame, you got it right. Rock Muse, yes, you got it right. I think Rock Muse might be in the lead now with correct guesses tonight. Wasn't there someone else with 6.5 in the chat? No, but a wonderful guess. Dan got it right. Saying 6.5. Flame got it right as well. Yes, sorry, Flame got it right. Thank you. That's who I was looking for. Well done, Flame. But also, we need a shout out. Go click the wish list for Kepler on the top of the chat, or the link will appear in the chat very shortly. Go wish list those fantastic games. Tank Rat. And if you fancy getting Solasta 2 in early access or want to wait until the 1.0 thing, wish list that as well. There you go. Congratulations to everyone who got that right. And moving swiftly on to another sort of game set in a sort of a certain era. This is a final game that we had that came out on Thursday. This is out on PS5 and PC. And this one is called 1348 Ex Voto. So let's have a look at the trailer for this.
Whether the end justified the means, every deed has a price. In times such as this, when folk feel abandoned by their fellows, abandoned by God, wrath and vengeance thrive like weeds.
Wherever you are, I shall find you, Bianca. This, I vow. I will not fail. I will not leave without you, Bia. This bloodshed, this suffering must end.
There you go. So this game, as Kindred said, famously, Xbox decided not to have it being released on Xbox, but it is on PC and PS5, getting some vibes of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and some vibes of things like Plague Tale as well with this one. But is it any good? That's the question. Dave, what do you reckon?
Yeah, well, this is like a bit of a sort of cinematic third-person action game. I can see where you get like Plague Tale vibes because like the setting, it's in the medieval times. This one's medieval Italy, where I think war and pestilence are ravaging the land, and there's all sorts of nasty people out in the way trying to stop your character Aether, who's trying to cross Italy to get to her lover Bianca and save her, because I think everything else in Aether's life has gone to hell. So she's trying to find someone that she cares about and make sure they're okay. From what I've seen of the game, graphically, I think it looks okay. It looks like they've done a reasonable job with the making Italy look good in the game. But I think other bits of it aren't particularly good at the moment. Reviews I saw highlighted quite a few bugs in it and saying that the combat got a bit stale the longer you played it. It was okay to begin with, but then it just ends up being a bit samey and whatnot. Probably down to it being like an indie game with not a huge amount of budget to it. They've done what they can. I say graphically it looks all right, but I think gameplay wise it isn't quite there yet. It's not going to match something like Plague Tale, which had a decent budget behind it and did look and play really, really good.
Okay, cool. Dan, your thoughts?
Yeah, okay, Dave. Really, I think I did read an article where like I say, it is a small team on like a smaller budget, and I think they sort of doubled down on this is like historical martial arts thing or something. So it's like they've really got like experts in that have actually studied like how the actual like, you know, martial arts and things were done back in medieval times and over the Renaissance and stuff, which sounds like a cool USP that I think they thought would really bring people in. But then the problem with that is that it's kind of old school fighting, and it does get a little bit boring, a little bit stale, like because it really revolves around the longsword. The combat is that's slow, clunky. It's not the sort of like more fast-paced stuff that people would sort of want to sort of play with, and it doesn't have that variety of like like a Kingdom Come Deliverance where you can switch weapons and sort of do a little bit more on that. But then, you know, it's also then got some like really cool voice. Like it's got our girl Jennifer English in there doing some of the voice acting. I think it's got one of the main guy, I think, is from the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child thing. So they've got like little aspects of things that kind of give it that little like sizzle. But yeah, I just think overall it's one of those games that it becomes almost like a tiny bit of a slog, sort of halfway through. And I feel like you're gonna have a lot of people that kind of leave this game on like a 50% completed in its current state, I think.
Okay, so it does sound a bit like the same sort of things we're in with Greedfall, that it needs a bit of work and a bit of polish. Let's see what scores we're getting in. We've got Danker 6, Gozzo 6, JL is hopeful, saying an 8, Blulu a 7, Brian a 6.5, Rockmuse a 6, Kindred a 6, Lisa a 6. Good evening, Matt. Matt said, did someone say cue up the music? Matt is officially opening DreamHack next week. Exclamation Dream. This is perfect for this. Exclamation Dream in chat. You can get 10% off tickets with my code MAG. And go check out Matt. Matt, I think you're on at 10 o'clock, opening up DreamHack on the Friday. And then if you fancy it and you want to win some Jackbox games, because Jackbox have sent me a load of Jackbox games to give away, I am live on stage at DreamHack at the NEC at 2:30 on the Sunday. So come and see me if you want to win some Jackbox games. And thank you again to Jackbox for backing me for that, and DreamHack for having me on stage, basically dancing around like a prat on stage. So there you go. Not as professional as Matt's going to be with his fucking great DJ set. Right, let's see what other scores people are saying. We got Retro Shazar, a 7. Anybody else? Dan, I'll start with you this time, actually.
Yeah, I think around that sort of like 7 number. I think there's like just a few things that actually do feel like sort of fairly unique, even though it's a bit of a sucks. Yeah, 7.
7. Okay. Hannah saying a 7.5. Dave?
I'll try a 6.5.
6.5. Okay. Oh, Matt is also on the Sunday. What time, dude? Because unfortunately, I'm not there on the Friday, so I'm not going to get to see you open the same. But please say that you're on after me, because if it's fucking, I'll be like livid that you're on at the same time with me. Because I want to see you DJ, man. Honestly, I'll be down the front, fucking shit-faced. Yeah. So you're on at 10 a.m. again on the Sunday. Amazing. Oh, we'll come down there for that then. We'll be down there for 10 a.m. Awesome. Top man. Go on. We will be there. We will be there. Awesome. Right, folks, if there are no more for no more, this is 1348 Ex Voto, which came out on Thursday on PS5 and PC. And I can tell you that this got... Yes, we can have a dance rock muse. 5.5. And it needs a lot of work. So this did not get reviewed well, unfortunately. And nobody said 5.5.
I don't think anyone even said 6, did they? That's...
someone did. No, someone was close. Lisa, Kindred, and Rockmuse said 6. And Danker and Gozzo said 6. So they were close. Close. Yeah. Damn it, I was thinking of that, and I put 6 instead, said Rockmuse. But yeah, 5.5 for that one. So there we go. So unfortunately, that is the lowest scoring game of this week so far. On to some more gaming news. Last week, we talked about PlayStation basically going, our games aren't going on PC anymore. Well, the standard solo player ones, multiplayer ones are. But that means things like Ghost of Yote ain't going to hit PC anytime soon. But there have been conversations about why this may have happened. Because Peter Dalton, who was the head of Bluepoint, and as we know, Sony recently laid everyone off at Bluepoint. So Peter kind of was interviewed about what happened and why this has all happened. He got his point across. And they asked him why PlayStation have now backtracked on the whole PC thing. And he said, there's one thing that's got people worried. And it's not Project Helix from Xbox, even though that is a factor, because if PlayStation were to continue, going to get a raid. So I'll just stop for a second. Vamp Queen, thank you very much for the raids. Coming on in. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see what you were streaming. See, we'll have a little dance now. There you go. Thank you so much. Hope you're well. Welcome on in. For those who don't know, I am Mag, also known as Middle Aged Gamer Guy. This is the co-host who knows most, Dave. And this is Dan from Kepler Interactive. We will be giving away a copy of Solasta 2 at the end of the show, so please stay tuned. It's in early access on PC, so stick around. We'll see if mods can kick in with shout-outs and stuff or not. There you go. I am Rock, says Vamp Queen. Awesome. Thank you for being here. We will get that sorted for you. We are just talking about why PlayStation have backtracked on the PC. So they're saying it's not the fact that Project Helix could be the issue, even though it would mean that if Sony were to continue putting games onto PC, that the Project Helix machine would be able to play PlayStation games on an Xbox game machine. The thing they're worried about is the Steam machine. It's the Steam machine that's got them worried, because the Steam machine, as they have announced, when it eventually comes out, will have on opening over 25,000 verified games. So if it's verified for Steam Deck, it's going to be verified for the Steam machine. And they're basically saying that Sony are kind of like, yeah, if we start putting some of our games on there, it's not really going to go down too well. And they are backing off. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But this is Peter's opinion of why they've backtracked. So I'm going to get the shout-outs down for Vamp Queen. While I'm doing that, Dave, what say you? And then Dan, I'd like your opinions on this, and chat, get your opinions as well.
Well, I guess Sony probably has seen Valve as another potential contender for the living room space where the PlayStation would usually be. The Steam machine is a nice little square PC that will just fit nicely into your TV cabinet, but we still don't know what the price or the release date of it's going to be. I mean, I think Valve say it's still this year, but we don't know what the price is going to be. And I think the price is going to sort of dictate how popular it's going to be. So if it ends up too expensive, then that's going to put quite a few people off. A PlayStation would probably still end up being cheaper than that thing. And I think spec-wise, it's kind of on par with the current PS5 from what people reckon so far. But we still haven't seen anything really running on it properly to sort of gauge it. So need to wait and see what that stuff's going to be like. But the other thing to think about with this machine, it's only really going to be available from Valve's website, from the Steam website. Whereas the PlayStation, it's available in stores, it's available on multiple other retailer sites, it's got a much bigger reach. So I don't think the Steam machine is going to sell anywhere near as much like the consoles do. It'll probably do well enough for the people that are interested in it. Yeah. But as I say, mostly going to depend on what the price of it turns out to be, I think, as to how popular it's going to be.
Yeah. Dan, your thoughts on this?
It's a tough one. Like we just haven't really seen enough of these consoles to have any real clue what's really happening. It's the operating system of the Steam machine. Is it just going to be the Steam Deck on a TV, for example? Is it going to be a little bit fiddly if you're sort of sat watching your sort of television, trying to sort of get do you have to get your mouse out to sort of get certain things to work? And so it's going to be really interesting to sort of see what happens with it. But we also know, like in the industry at the minute, the price of these chips is just going through the roof with everything going on across the waters and things like that as well. And I think it's why there's been maybe a hesitancy to even give a vague idea of like an asking price for these machines as well. I think they're all kind of holding off, going, let's just see if that comes down before we ask for that. And think, I think, didn't PlayStation just have to raise all their PS5 prices quite a bit and things like that recently? So I can see why there's hesitancy even without Steam, just with the sort of market at the minute. But yeah, I think everyone's just playing the waiting game for the first person that's brave enough to say, this is what it will look like. These are the games that you'll be able to play on it, and this is how much it's going to cost. And no one wants to be the first one to go, I think.
Yeah. There you go. Vam Queen, thank you so much for that raid, and you get some sleep. Thank you for that. I greatly appreciate it. We'll see you at the Twitch meet in a couple of weeks. You take care. Thank you. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. And then also, Brian mentioned, says lots of games are requiring 32 gigabytes of RAM these days, and the Steam machine only has 16 gigabytes. So there might be certain games that you can't or won't be able to play. So maybe that is the point that also Sony would go, well, that ain't going to work anyway for us. Not even though they're probably considering that.
Or they go massive heavy on cloud systems and stuff like that again.
Yeah. So, be interesting to see. So, the future of the Steam machine and Project Helix is going to be a very interesting one. We'll have to see what those come out at. So, we'll find out more in the future. Moving on to our final 2 games of the night, and we've got another 2 big games for you. These both came out on Friday the 13th. No need to be superstitious. But this one came out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2 and PC. And this is Monster Hunter Stories 3, The Twisted Reflection. We raided over to Misty last night after our Toxic Commando stream, and she was playing this and she was probably enjoying it. Let's see what the reviewers thought of it.
Years ago, Mother returned home carrying a crystallized egg. Inside that egg were 2 living Rathalos. I remember how happy I was when I heard 2 newborn cries, so small yet so full of life. Now it is time I eschewed my royal duties and tried to push any thoughts of my mother from my mind. All of that has brought me here. My mother, Simon, and even Ratha. I know nothing about them. I can't stand it anymore.
We've borne witness to the Rathalos' return from extinction. And with it, the sort of omen we can ill afford to ignore.
I've learned of all the lives lost in the Rift War.
Then perhaps he's told you that the war 200 years ago was the source of all these feral monsters.
They're coming! The Vermilions betrayed us!
It's the hell they faced 200 years ago all over again.
And a sky-scale Rathalos, no less. What did we do to deserve this?
Oh, Eleanor. I'd heard Azuria had made a hostage of you, but I never imagined they'd take your spirit as well.
War will only harm our people and further endanger our kingdom! You know that as well as I do, Clarissa!
This isn't Ranger business. One wrong move, and it can all blow up into a diplomatic incident.
I've been preparing for this my whole life, Captain! I swear I'll win, so just watch me!
Okay, let's get going. Counting on you for backup, Captain.
We'll take that beast down this time, right, lad?
This is you we're talking about. I just know you're gonna offer to help with my other work.
There must be a path forward, without bloodshed. Don't you think so?
We've all got your back, so stand tall. We know you can do this.
2 centuries ago, our ancestors committed a grave sin. We have to accept these transgressions. And as riders, it's our responsibility to right these wrongs. Come on!
PlayStation. Love the fact they tag on an extra minute at the end of it. Here's all the other shit you can buy with it. There you go.
I didn't think it was ever going to end then.
No, I know. There's probably
another thing. And then another bonus.
Yeah, 33-minute version of that, the extended cut. But there we go. So, yeah, Monster Hunter games really don't gel with me, says Brian. I think there's a huge fan base out for them. Some people love them. Some people don't. I can take them or leave them. More of the mainline games I like. I'm not so interested in these ones, but Dave, tell us the difference between this and some of the mainline games, please.
Yeah, well, this is the sort of spin-off RPG with turn-based combat version of the series. So it's separate stories compared to the mainline games. As I say, these ones are turn-based, but you still get to bring in all the sort of moves that you used to see in the action games into these. So you still got the same stuff there. It's just turn-based. In this one, I think you've got two warring factions who are competing against each other, but they're both facing this issue where they've got some sort of crystalline corruption that's coming across the continents, and it's affecting one of the nations first of all, and the other one seems a bit reluctant to help them out, and you've got to go on a journey with one of these special monsters that's hatched from these eggs. It's a special one that's I think everyone thought was extinct, and you will take on a quest to try and work out what this crystal threat is, see if you can sort it, see if you can save both nations. That one of those ones where you've got to save the world. We're used to seeing that in these JRPGs. I think it looks really nice though. This has been mentioned in the chat. It's got Breath of the Wild vibes to it with the cell shaded look, especially when you see the characters, and just seeing that and seeing like the bright, vibrant colours in the world. I think it looks really nice. I don't usually have much interest in these. That definitely piques my interest. Just seeing how it looks. I think graphically it looks absolutely gorgeous. And from what I have seen of the turn-based combat, that does look pretty decent as well. So I think for anyone who's not massively into the main line games, this is different enough to perhaps warrant a look. You might tempt you to play it.
Okay. Welcome, Sanki Oki. Says Dave looks so pale. I think it's the lighting in his room.
It is. I'm not just grey and old. It is poor lighting, I'm afraid.
He's not old. Not at all. No.
I'm really sweaty.
Yeah, Legend GL said it looks pretty good. I did notice we had someone else on YouTube. Top Bloke here also said the lip syncing is non-existent. It was for that trailer. I totally agree. Dan, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I was a massive fan of the second stories title, and I've played sort of 10 to 15 hours of this one already.
Yeah.
I'd say it's very much, if you didn't like 2, you're not going to like 3. It's very much sort of the same, but they've fixed a few things, but it's not like dramatically different. Obviously it's got like a different story and stuff, but it does feel a little bit more like almost like RPG-esque, where I feel like it's kind of that, you get that sort of itch of like, oh, I should go to bed, but I'll just do one more quick run to get another egg, and then 3 hours has disappeared and you realize it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So it does definitely give you some of those elements, and I've definitely had a few late nights already with it. Like I say, the turn-based combat's really, really optimized. I think it's really cool. But yeah, I would say as well, if anyone's not sure about it but does have a PC, I think as with 2, they do have a free trial available on Steam.
Yeah.
Where you can play like the first chunk of the game. So if you just want to go on, test it out and things like that, see what riding a dragon feels like. Like I said, the opening act's quite cool. I definitely recommend doing that before sinking any money in.
Yeah, because it's 55 quid on all platforms, which is pretty pricey. So yeah, if you want to try before you buy, that's a good route to go for. So chat, get your scores in. Anyone who's joined us from the raid or has just tuned in, we don't review the games ourselves. We take an average score from all the critical reviews that go out, and you have to guess it. If you get it right, we'll give you a shout out in the chat. We've got Brian coming in with an 8.5, Hannah with a 7.5. So chat, get your scores in now. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go with 8.5.
8.5. Okay. Rock Muse coming in with an 8. Danker with a 9. So we're getting quite high scores here. Dan, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I was going to say like high 8s, definitely. It could be on the cusp of a 9. I'll risk it with a 9, but I reckon it'll be 8.5.
Right, risking it with a 9. Someone else who's risking it with a 9 is Gozzo. Lisa with a 7.5. Flame with an 8. Kindred 8.5. Sir Nudges, how you doing? 7.5. Good to see you. Retro Shazar a 9 as well. Folks, this is your last chance. This is £55. This is Monster Hunter Stories Free Twisted Reflection, which came out on Friday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. Good to see you. Anyone else want to have a guess? It has been a while. Always good. Always good to see you back. Always good. If there are no more guesses, I can tell you that this is the high scoring game of the week because this got a 9 out of 10. Wow. Nice. And JL just snuck in there with an 8, but 9 out of 10 on average. So there you go. So well done, Dan. You got it right. Gozzo and Danka, can we get shout outs for them, please? Retro Shazar as well. The shout outs already gone out. Well done. You got it right as well. And obviously, we can also, don't forget, go check out at the top of the chat the Kepler Steam store page where you can basically buy all these fantastic games that we've got. And obviously, as well, you can wish list the future upcoming Tank Rat and many more games on there. Dan will greatly appreciate it if you do that. Brian says, I am 0.5 out on these games this week. It happens. It happens. But well done to all of you that got it right. And moving on to our final game of the night. But stick around because we are going to be giving away a copy of Solasta 2. This also came out on Friday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And if I've got this right, this is the last time that this franchise will come out through this company. A bit like how EA lost FIFA. If I think I've got this right, because I think they've lost this and something else. If I've got that wrong, please correct me. But this is WWE 2K26. Now, the last couple of years, this game has not done well. Have they finally brought it back for one last send-off? Or is it going to tank again? Let's have a look at the trailer.
He's rude. He's controversial. CM Punk is in the building. From the heavens, diving straight back down to hell. Things are really heating up. Oh, Dad, locked and loaded.
There's nothing between Punk and McIntyre but pure hatred. She's setting it up, Devil's Kiss. Seen anything like this?
So I'm going to say this now. For years, we've moaned about these trailers for this game because they never show any bloody footage. And for first time ever, we got a decent trailer from them. So maybe they finally learned after they're going to bloody lose the license. We know that it's still up in here. I think there's that and the basketball one, the NBA. They're going to potentially lose. It's going to go out to some other people. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, if it is a final swan song, Dave, tell us what this year's offering of WWE offers us.
Oh, from what I was looking at earlier, it's just iterative improvements. like you get with a lot of these annual franchises, they don't change a huge amount, just little bits here. I think always getting through the graphics and the animations. I think there's like new commentaries in there, updated some of the different rounds. I think I've added extra bits into the My Rise and stuff like that. But the one thing you've got in there now, I think in this one is it's got a battle pass there. So as well as paying like 70 quid for the full game, you got a battle pass as well. You can buy that on top, which I think they're doing that instead of sort of DLC that they used to do. So you still got to pay for something. So yeah, they were trying to nickel and dime with these ones. So I don't know if TK are going to lose the rights, or if the rights just not going to be exclusive with them anymore. But it'd be quite nice to see a bit more competition in these markets, because it's just fucking boring when you get the same companies who have the rights to these games, and they're really the only place you can go to get that experience. They just end up feeling a bit stale and a bit pointless every year. So it'd be nice to see if other companies can join in and do like wrestling or basketball or other football games, just to improve the market and add a bit of competition there. Make these companies try a bit harder, because we're going to have more of these annual releases, and they're all boring to talk about because it's changed.
And the funny thing is, it's like we are going to get a new FIFA, and it's not EA doing it. So EA are going to really have to kick up their Fs, because FC's just been coasting the last couple of years. So we'll have to see. There you go. Gameplay isn't meant to be great, but the grind and unlock is rough as fuck, apparently. Some people saying not so good. Interesting. Okay. Dan, your thoughts on this one?
Again, share my age, but I grew up in the times when we used to get like a WWF SmackDown or a Raw game, and it was like the best thing that you could possibly get. It was like, this is sick. Like they've just brought in this brand. They brought in like cage modes. They brought in like, there was like new innovations and new cool things, and like the create your own wrestler. And every single time his game came out, it was exciting. I just think these games are just turning into, yes, technically this would be the best wrestling game that they've ever made, because they've done a few little tweaks and stuff, but like actual like innovation, no. And yeah, the forcing of like, some people are spending hundreds of pounds on some of these versions, and then the first thing you get hit with is like essentially like a battle pass system and tons of monetization and things like that. It really sucks the, you could say as much as I think they've got something like, is it like over 400 wrestlers in this?
Yeah, something like that.
Like the most sports people in any game that has ever existed ever. And it's like, in some ways, a massive accomplishment, but how much of that is locked behind some kind of battle system and things like that? It's like, it'd be like sort of booting up, you can't imagine booting up like a Smash Bros and half of the board is blocked out until you sort of pay another 30 quid.
Yeah, there you go.
No one would play it. It's bizarre. Yeah, I reckon it's going to be one of those where the critic reviews, I think, are going to be quite high, because they're going to be looking at this from like a technical aspect. But I think the user reviews are going to go, because the critic reviews never go, let's knock 3 points off because it's got a battle pass system.
Yeah,
you should.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what people are saying. Get your scores in chat now for WWE 2K26. Let's have a look. We have got 7 from Brian, 7.5 from Hannah, 8 from Danka, 8 from Gozzo, 7.5 from Blulu. Scrolling down, Sonuji says a 7, Rockmuse says a 7, DJ Brock says 6.5, Legendary JL says 7. So everyone's kind of in the same. Retro Jazar 7, Kindred 8, Flame 8. Dan, I'll start with you. What do you reckon for this?
So yeah, again, because we're going off the crit, I reckon it will be fairly high, because it's technically the best WWE that they've brought out. So I reckon, like a 7.5.
7.5. Okay. Lisa agreeing with you as well on that. 7.5 from Lisa. DJ says people have found a way to unlock content quickly. Perfectly legit, I had, but the devs patched it out and then said on Twitter that it was because players weren't getting the intended game experience, i.e. ripping you off. Yes. Dave, what say you on this one?
I'll try a safe 7 for this one.
Safe 7. Danka says the one thing I enjoy from these game releases each year is when the Wrestle Talk YouTube channel play through the My Gym mode with their own rules. This is after people have paid nearly 150 quid for the fancy edition as well. Yeah, I saw that it's like 135 quid or something for that. And then let's just have a look. Where did Kindred put it? I'm just going to scroll back up here. Oh, fucking hell, I've lost it now. Give me a second. There you go. On Steam and Switch, it's 60 quid. And Xbox and PlayStation, it's 70 quid.
Not worth the money.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait for a deep sale, I'd say.
Yeah, they could have just added...
Get an old PlayStation and play the old SmackDown games. You'll have a much better time, I'm sure.
Yeah, loads of people in the chat were saying the PlayStation 1 and 2 wrestling games were the best. So there you go.
Perfection.
And Jesse was saying back on the Mega Drive as well. Remember the WrestleMania game? I agree. Good fun. All right. If there are no more guesses, this is WWE 2K26, which came out on Friday. PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. I can tell you that this is exactly how Dan, you thought this would go, because 8 out of 10 the critics gave this. But I know that user scores are not good.
No, they can't be.
No. So 8 out of 10, which is interesting because it's always kind of got lower scores than this previous years when we've talked about this. So the critics have, maybe they're just saying, are they being paid off? Can't confirm or deny that. So it has been rumoured that certain outlets may do, but we can't say that, you know. The gameplay is good, says DJ Baroque, but the dev's respect for the player isn't. Brown envelopes have been issued. Question is how much. I think IGN gave it less than the past few years. I think so as well. IGN's review, I think, was lower than some others. I think Eurogamer and GameSpot gave it really good reviews from memory.
I do wonder with the review codes if they get the Legendary Edition. Like, I wonder if it's if you're playing the £160 version and reviewing that.
It's interesting because sometimes when I'm sent games, sometimes I'm sent the super duper editions with everything on it, which I'm greatly appreciated, and sometimes I'm not.
Yeah.
So if I was a review and I got the thing with everything, you are going to go look at it at the whole package, aren't you? In that way, I guess. There you go. The Royal Rumble arcade game from the early 90s was also amazing. Yes, it was. I agree. If this is the last one, these are an element of kind because of that. I'm sticking with 2K25 for the time being, but you still have to unlock the extra wrestlers on their system, even if you've paid the 135 quid. Fucking hell. Right, let's see who got that right then. Scores. Danker, well done. Gozzo, well done. Kindred, well done. Flame, well done. Can we get shout outs for all those lovely people? And Dan, you rightly said another 8, didn't you?
No,
you didn't. Shit.
I think I almost talked myself into it and then went down to 7.5.
Oh,
I can't take the credit for it.
Dave, did you say the 8 then?
No, I said a 7.
Who else said an 8 then? It weren't me, but never mind. Someone else. So my imaginary friend said an 8. There you go. Well, congratulations to everyone in chat. God, jeez, it's all this talk, all these battle passes. It's befuddled my brain. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I did say 8.
Yeah, just say 8. Yeah, he did say 8. Can we drop the Steam link for Kepler in there, please?
Yeah.
Go check out and wish list all the new games that are coming out from Kepler, and maybe buy some awesome games like Expedition 33 or Pacific Drive. You won't regret it. And we've got 2 more things to do before we wrap up the show. At the end of the show, we go through charts. We have a different chart each week. Every 2 weeks, we look at the retail chart for the UK. So I'm going to tell you this now. Toxic Commando didn't get in the top 10. Right? But it did come in at number 21, which is fair. Hopefully it'll do better than that. Interestingly enough, 81% of the sales were on PS5 and the other 19% were on Xbox. So it's selling better on PlayStation than Xbox. But let's have a look at the chart right now, and I'll give you some facts and names. We have got some new entries and some games that have shuffled round. So we have got at number 10, a brand new entry with Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly Remake. At number 9, down 1 place, is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Last week, a load of Resident Evil games came back in the chat, including Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 is now down 1 place. at number 8. And down 2 places is the Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. Another new entry at number 6, we just talked about it, is Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. Down 1 place from last year, Pokemon Legends Zeta A. And down 1 place again, latest game, Pokemon Pokepedia. Again, just talked about it, a brand new entry at number 3 with WWE 2K26. And up 1 place, and not shifting at all, is Mario Kart World. And no surprises, a non-mover, the number 1 at the UK chart is Resident Evil Requiem. I can tell you that Toxic Commandos did get in the top 10 Steam chart. So it actually did a lot better in Steam than it did overall on retail. But interestingly enough, Fatal Frame 2, 80% of the sales were on PS5, with 13% on Switch 2 and 7% on Xbox. Monster Hunter 3, 50% was on Switch 2, with 45% on PlayStation and 5% on Xbox. And with WWE 2K26, 76% of sales was on PlayStation, 16% on Xbox, and only 8% on Switch 2. So there you go. We've got a couple of new entries there. And Resident Evil still chiming away with 3 Resident Evil games in. There were 5 Resident Evil games because Resident Evil 2 Remake had re-entered the chart. And obviously we also had the gold edition of Resident Evil Village in there, but those 2 have left the top 10. That is your top 10 for next week. I think we will look at, what did we have a look at last week? I think we may have a look at the PlayStation charts next week and see what has moved around on there. And seeing as a lot of those games are selling well on PlayStation, let's see if they stick there. So there we go. That is that. Now, to wrap up the show, we have got 1 more copy of Solasta 2, sorry, because it's the 3rd copy to give away. Made sense somehow. And courtesy of Kepler, and big thank you to Dan for this. If you want to take part, if your name is not on this wheel, you can do so. So let me share the screen again, because we've got the amazing Kepler prize wheel. All you need to do, if you have not entered the competition, is type the word win. At the moment, Jesse, JL, Gozzo, Chloe, Lisa, Iqual, Kindred, Phantom, Blakey, Blulu, Big Fuzzy Yak, Big Fuzzy Panda, Dave Johnson, Brian from UKGN, Hannah, Flame, and Belarus are on there. Toy Bonnie, hello. Sir Nudges, you want to be added on there? This is for PC. It's early access, but it will mean that you will get the final game when it comes out on the 1.0. Good. Jim Carrey is reportedly set to return as Dr. Ivo Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Doesn't surprise me because the last 3 films have been fantastic and have been a massive runaway success. So I'm not surprised he's doing that. Any more for any more who hasn't entered the competition? Hannah did say she's very happy with Pokepedia, and Pokepedia is doing very, very well in the gaming charts right now. Any more? Good luck to everyone else. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. If you want to take part in the competition, your name is not on the wheel. This is for a PC version early access of Solasta 2. Congratulations to DJ and Danka, who won the first 2 copies. And you've literally got 10 seconds. What does the abbreviation TY mean? Thank you. There you go. In 3, in 2, in 1. I've shuffled the names. Here we go. Oh, it's Flame. Well done, Flame. A regular of the show, regular of all our streams as well. Another regular. That's fantastic. Flame, congratulations. I'll be sending you a code either later tonight or tomorrow morning, courtesy of Kepler Interactive, for Solasta 2. Congratulations, because that game looks friggin' amazing and it's still in early access. So there you go, folks. That is it from us for tonight. Big thank you to our wonderful guest. His 3rd time on the show. Give it up from Dan from Kepler Interactive, also known as Danzig. Thank you again, my friend, for being here.
Thank you for having me again.
So good to have you. So good to have you. As always, my co-host who knows the most, Mr. David Jones.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Thank you for being here. We will be back next week with more TNGC, and I need to quickly check my notes because I've actually forgotten who's on the show. We have got another guest with a gaming event. Is Dan coming to any gaming events? Maybe
I keep meaning to, and they're always too up north. I'm down in Reading, and I've got 2 kids. That's always my gamble. So as soon as I can get some,
maybe we can rig it. I'm just saying, we get the kids and the family to a certain timeless thing. Yeah, get him on the guest list. We'll do that. We'll see. we'll talk about it after the show. Yeah, we'll sort something. So next week, our guest is John from OLL. OLL is a gaming event that's taking place in Norfolk. It took place in 2022. 2023, it was actually the first gaming event that I was actually live on stage. We have a very big announcement next week to do with OLL and me and a certain guest star who's the headline star of the event. I'm not going to say anything else. If you figure it out, please keep it to yourself. But we will have John as our guest on next week's show. I'm also back on tomorrow at 8:30. You wanted it. We're bringing it back. It caused a lot of chaos at Christmas. Gartic Phone is tomorrow night. It's going to be our thing. It's basically what brought the whole clips of people saying, and now let's talk about Dave, said no one ever. Not this Dave. Dave Johnson in chat, who's now going, oh my God, no, not more Gartic, bugger off. Yes, it's going to start wars, I think. That is at 8:30 on TikTok and Twitch. Also, big shout out to everyone who's been watching on YouTube and Twitch. And as I said, please, when they do the shout outs, do go follow all these people that have been guessing right. We greatly appreciate it. They come here week on, week out to support this show. We've been doing it over 5 years. Go give a bit of love to them as well. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you to all the mods for doing all the modding and doing all the shout outs and everything else. Greatly appreciate it. So we are going to do a raid on YouTube. We are literally just going to end stream. Sorry about that. But we are going to go raid somebody over on Twitchy Poos. Let's see who is on. And friggin' hell, there's a lot of people. Oh my God. There is a lot of people. Laura's on. What is Laura playing? We've not raided her in a while. Is Laura playing Resident Evil? Yes, she is. Perfect. And she's quite near the beginning, so there's no spoilers. So let's go raid Laura Dreaming and go say hi to her. Let's make that happen. If I press the button, now I've lost it. So there. No, that's just opened the thing again. Why did it do that? Press that. Come on, thing, work. Dear God. There you go. It's happening. This technology is wonderful, isn't it? I did say Twitchy Poos, yes. All that leaves for us to say is wherever you are in the world, have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good evening. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon. Take care from all of us. Good night. Bye. I'm going to hit that button now.